Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, May the 4th, 2022. It is currently 4:57 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas. And I don't know if you know this, but Satan has come to Illinois. Yes, if you live anywhere near, if you live in the state of Illinois, if you live anywhere near it, if you live in the state or near the state, you need to be on the lookout. Satan has come to Illinois and you need to take precautions immediately. And it sounds like those precautions, maybe, I don't know, contacting political leaders. I'm a little baffled by it. Yeah, you're probably going, what is going on? Yes. We are going to talk about when Satan comes to Illinois. That is what we're going to be talking about in this episode. Do I have your attention? Was that a hook? Did I dangle the hook and you're like, oh, I want to know. Satan has come to Illinois. I better contact some friends or family, or maybe you live in Illinois and then maybe you're on your way out, or maybe you're stopping. Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't Satan roam about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour? Did he just finally make it to Illinois? Like he's like, Illinois has just been the one place he hasn't been able to make it to until yesterday at 10:25 a.m., or at least that's when the alert was sent out. Okay, here's what's going on. Enough playing around. Let's get serious. Let's get to this. Are you ready? Here we go. Now, I in some ways, I'm playing around. In some ways, I'm just kind of joking around because, well, I'm literally, here's what happened. Yesterday, May the 3rd, 10:25 a.m., 10:25 a.m., May the 3rd, 2022, I received an email with this as the subject line. When Satan comes to Illinois, an AFA action alert. Now, if you don't know what AFA is the American Family Association. So the American Family Association thought that there's a situation developing within Illinois that's so significant, so important, that they sent out an action alert to anyone who signs up for them. I sign up for them just because I like knowing what's going on in the world of Christianity. If you don't know AFA, American Family Association, they would classify themselves as a Christian ministry. Some may classify them more as a political activist group, but you can draw your own conclusions on how you would classify them. But they sent out an AFA action alert with the title, When Satan Comes to Illinois. Now, what's interesting is the first thing they have here is I don't even know what this is. It's a story. Well, you can just read this. It's a story, mother, daughter. I don't know. Then they have the prodigal prayer guide. All right. So a prodigal prayer guide. They talk about their award-winning American Family Studios film In His Image. Okay. So you can read all about that. So none of that has anything to do with what we're saying. So I'm not going to look at that. And then let's see here. Then you keep going. They have so much here. Where is it? I got to find where they give us the news. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Recently, so in the middle of this story, I don't know everything about going on there. I'm not going to go read everything here, but I guess I'll do the lead in with this. And I'm sorry, because it's just so weird the way the email is written. I'm trying to let you kind of feel my own confusion when I read the email, because the email starts off with, when Satan comes to Illinois, that's the subject line. And then it starts off with, Dear friend, Francine Perry has an amazing story to tell. It's a heartbreaking account of a wayward daughter who thought she was a man trapped in a woman's body. But her story is also a triumphant testimony of a believing mother who surrendered herself and her daughter into the hands of God. Both were eternally changed. And so when you're looking at like, wait a minute, what does that got to do with Satan coming to Illinois? So then you think, oh, this is going to have something to do with transgenderism or LGBTQ rights. Like, is that what it's going? So it's really a little perplexing. Then they have in the middle, after that, the Prodigal Prayer Guide is filled with mighty scripture-based prayers, I guess, to bring back a prodigal. Okay. And I guess I guess you can maybe you can get a copy of it. I don't know. But then, so after all of that, then you get this. The Perry story, all right, represents just one of the millions of devastated families whose children have fallen victim to the destructive demonic forces so dominant in American society. All right, so they're going to use that story demonstrating that children have fallen victim to the demonic forces so dominant in American society. All right, we could have a whole discussion there, but let's see where they're going, because I still want to know, when did Satan arrive in Illinois? That's what we're waiting for, right? So then the next paragraph. Recently, I was astonished at a photo that accompanied a news story. The picture showed a statue of, and I'm going to spell it for you, Baphomet. Baphomet, the T is usually not pronounced. It's a French word, Baphomet, but sometimes in America you'll hear it pronounced Baphomet, but it's Baphomet. And Baphomet so he saw this picture of a statue of Baphomet, which is a goat-headed demon that often represents Satan. Baphomet is seated on a throne. Two children stand beside the image and stare up up in admiration at the Prince of Darkness. The statue was created by a group called the Satanic Temple and displayed in December at the Illinois Capitol building in Springfield beside the Christmas Nativity. The Satanic Temple demanded the display as a way to honor the group's religious freedom. Now let's stop right here. I don't know where they're going. Okay, but I have a feeling, and I'm just going to get a little frustrated right here. Some are going to agree, many are going to disagree, but this is the thing that drives me crazy. Christians want to ensure that our religious freedom is protected. We want to make sure that we have religious freedom, and we want to make sure that we can, we want the 10 Commandments posted here, or we want prayer here, we want this, we want the Bible taught in school. Christians want so many things, but when other religions exercise the same freedom that we demand, in many cases, either Christians want to take away that freedom from them, deny that freedom, and which is just insane, because the freedom you deny others is a freedom you deny. And if you demand a freedom, you have to allow others to have same freedoms. In other words, you want the Bible taught in school, well, then you have to allow the Quran to be taught in school. You have to allow the Satanic Bible to be taught in school. If you want prayer in school, well, you not only do you get the Christian prayer, you get the Satanic prayer, Islamic prayer, any other prayer. But Christians have this really weird idea that no. It should be Christianity everywhere, and every other person should not have the same freedom. No, the freedom of religion is a beautiful freedom, but everyone should have the opportunity. So if you want a nativity scene put up in the Illinois Capitol building, well, then guess what? The Satanic Temple has a right to put up a statue of Baphomet. They have every right to do so. In another Illinois city, the Satanic Temple was allowed to post flyers in January inviting students at an elementary school to attend an after-school Satan club. This was a twisted ploy meant to compete with, and no doubt to mock, Good News Clubs as a well-known after-school Christian program. Now, wait a minute. Why are you going to say that it's a twisted ploy? It's a twisted ploy. No, if you want the freedom to invite children to the Good News Club, well, then Satanists should have the same freedom to invite kids to the Satan Club. Or Muslims should have the ability to invite kids to the local Islamic center to help them study Islam. All right, to the local mosque. They should have this same freedom. It's weird that Christians, like, if someone else does the same thing, it's a twisted plot. It's wait a minute. You want that freedom. Why wouldn't someone else have the same freedom? You should defend those other freedoms. Okay, now here we go. They say this. Please understand, I'm not suggesting that Satanism as a religion is spreading throughout our nation's schools or legislators. I don't know that to be the case, and believe me, there are enough problems in America without imagining others. I'm just saying that promoting the worship of Satan stretches the First Amendment beyond its legal limits and harms families and society. So someone cannot promote the worship of Satan because that goes beyond the First Amendment. But so the First Amendment only is for Christians? Too many families have lost their children to the pervading progressive darkness in our nation. That's why I can't say too often or too strongly that for the sake of our families and without apology, fear, or regret, AFA is committed to calling America back to the one true God. It is time for the church to be the church, but that need is critical in 2022. The nation is disintegrating morally. Corruption seems to be everywhere, and violence fills our streets. We have a major election in November, and each opportunity to vote becomes more critical to our survival. So how are we going to survive? Not through the preaching of the gospel, not through discipleship, not through evangelism. We've got to vote. And I guess we want to vote people in who would take away the rights from the Satanic Temple to place their statue of Baphomet within the Illinois Capitol building. Now, of course, Christians, they still want to make sure they have the right to post the nativity. And I guess they want to take away the rights of the Satanic Temple to invite students at the elementary school to their Satan club. But Christians should have the right to invite those same kids to the good news clubs, right? So what is this? But they say this, behind such important salt and light actions like voting and standing for righteousness, we must first utilize the heaven-sent weapon of persistent and bold prayer. And that can begin with praying for our wandering prodigals to return to the Father. That's why in appreciation for your generous gift to the AFA, I want to send you 5 copies of the Prodigal Prayer Guide. So, hey, this Prodigal Prayer Guide is so important. But if you send them a financial gift, you'll get it. Let's see here. How much do I have to give here? I have to give either $25, $50, $100, or $250, and then I can get the Prodigal Prayer Guide. There you go. So they're going to use the threat of Satan coming to Illinois to convince you need to get the book, The Prodigal Prayer Guide, and you can do so, again, for your generous gift of, and I'm clicking on the site, $25, $50, $100, $250. And the Prodigal Prayer Guide, the way it's advertised, is simply scripture-based prayers for the prodigal in your life. So they're going to give you scripture. I guess you're going to give $25 for scripture to be given to you to combat the Satan that's come to Illinois. What is this? I don't even know what to say. This is their action alert. Satan has come to Illinois. So let me just try to help Christians out here, okay? And I know this is always an unpopular opinion, but it just absolutely drives me nuts. It really does. If you want prayer, say in school, you have to allow for prayer from all religions. If you want the Bible taught in school, you have to allow for other religious texts to be taught in school, like the Satanic Bible written by Anton LaVey, or the Quran, or the Book of Mormon, or any other religious text. You would have to allow for that. If you want your religious symbols placed on government property, right, whether within the Capitol building or wherever, you want a cross, you want a nativity, you want the 10 Commandments, then guess what? People from the other religions should have the exact same freedom to post a statue of Baphomet, they could post anything they want. They could post something from the Quran, something from the Satanic Bible. They could post the 9 statements of Satanism, which is found in the first part of the Satanic Bible. I don't have my copy currently near me, and I could read those to you. But they should be able to do that. And not only should they be able to do that, you should defend their right to do that. If you want that freedom, you've got to give other people that freedom. But some Christians aren't interested in freedom. What they're interested in is taking over the country and imposing Christianity anywhere, whenever they want, wherever they want, as if it's somehow our right to be able to do this. And it's like, no, if you want that freedom, defend everyone's freedom. Defend everyone's freedom. I'll never forget. It was absolutely ridiculous. But the atheist in Dallas, Texas, an atheist organization, had started putting advertisements, I think, on the city buses. And the city buses, it was something about, something in regards to your imaginary God or your imaginary Christ. It was somewhat kind of like a, controversial, shocking, derogatory thing going after Christianity. And Christians were up in arms. They were mad. How dare they put their advertisements on city buses? How dare this happens? And I'm like, wait a minute. So you don't want atheists to be able to advertise their perspective, but I'm sure you want churches to be able to post their advertisements wherever, however they want. And I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing. I'm like, if the atheists want to come to place that sign right next to my church, I will defend their right to put it right across the street from my church, right next to my church. I will defend their right. Feel free to come to, in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and put up your advertisement right next to my church. I wouldn't care. And I remember getting contacted by that atheist organization. They were like blown away that like, wait, you're basically defending us? And I'm like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? I want you to have the freedom to say whatever you want. I want you to have the freedom to mock Christianity, challenge Christianity, criticize Christianity. You can be derogatory, do whatever you want. And I want the freedom to be able to defend Christianity, proclaim Christianity, and speak against atheism and condemn atheism and attack atheism. See, that's the way freedom works. Isn't it a great idea? You have freedom. I have freedom. That's the way it should work. But they're upset that the Satanic Temple. Now, I thought they were going to probably have us contact some kind of political leader. They didn't do that. They basically turned it into an opportunity, to send them money so that you can get a prodigal prayer guide. That's in fact, I'm going to look here. I'm going to see the prodigal prayer guide. I'm going to copy it. I have to give them $25 at a minimum to get one. I'm going to see here. I'm going to go to Amazon. Hang on. Here we go. It's $7. Okay. So to be fair, they're pretty close they're pretty close. It's $17 to get it in paperback. There's a new edition I can get for $15. Now, if I look inside, I'm looking inside, Prayer for Prodigals. This seems like, is this the same one or is this an old one? Hang on. Let me look here. This may be an older copy of it. Let me go back to Amazon. Here's the new one. Is this the new one? It looks a little different. Hang on, let me see. Which one are they offering here? Let me go back to the email. They have a different one here. I'm looking to see if we can find the exact. All right, let's see here. How many different prodigal prayer guides are there? I'm going to go back to Amazon. See here. I'm going to do this. Prodigal prayer guide. I'm going to put in the name. Maybe it's only available through giving them money. Yeah, I am not seeing it at all. I don't know if it's the same one. I am not seeing. Okay, let's see here. I'm looking at the names they have here for this book. Laura, hang on. Laura Perry. Okay, let's try this and see what we find. No. I'm seeing the image of the book, but when let's see here. Let's go to the Baptist Press. Okay. Does everyone? It's weird. They talk about the nobody has a link to the actual book. I guess maybe. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where you get their version of the book. I don't know. So I was going to see exactly, $25. Maybe it's something special just for the American Family Association. I don't know, because the things that I'm seeing on Amazon doesn't appear to be the same book. It's a similar book. I wanted to, because on Amazon they will let you look inside, and I wanted to see exactly what you're going to get for your $25 donation. Now, of course, what they would say is the $25 is really to help American Family Association fight things like, the Satanic Temple putting up a statue of Baphomet within the Illinois Capitol. I guess that's what we need to stand against. That's what we need to fight against. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to look in the book and see exactly what you're getting for $25. It just seems like a weird, hey, we're going to send out an AFA alert that Satan has come to Illinois, and here's what we need you to do. Send us $25, $50, $150, $200, and then we'll send you this prayer guide. And that's what we have. So I don't know what else to say about the entire situation other than I don't understand Christian thinking. I really don't. We want freedom, but we want to deny freedom. We want freedom, and then we want to take away other people's freedom. I don't understand. Now, I do understand, obviously, there's all kinds of laws that take away people's freedom to drive drunk, take away freedoms people to kill someone. Yeah, so there's obviously some freedoms that have to be denied. We always know there's a limit to freedom. You can't walk into a movie theater and scream fire. You can't do certain things. Obviously, we know that there's a limit. But what I'm saying is the freedoms that we want, the freedoms that we celebrate, the freedoms that we so cherish and demand, we've got to be willing to give those same freedoms to other people. The great thing about the freedom of the freedom of religion is that people have the freedom to practice and worship any way they want. That's a great freedom. Now, yes, it doesn't mean that the freedom of religion that everyone's going to worship the true God and turn to Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean that, but it means they have the freedom to choose, and you have the freedom to proclaim Christ. I want that freedom, so I will defend other people's freedom. I will defend the freedom of the Satanic Temple. I will defend the freedom of a Mormon. I will defend the freedom of a Muslim. I want their freedom. I want them to have their freedom because I want the same freedom. And it shouldn't even be that much of a radical idea, but some Christians really just want to, I don't know what they want. They almost want a theocracy, I think. I think they want a theocracy. And that's a frightening thought. Because whenever, remember, this is a simple thing to remember. Study church history. Whenever church and state merges in any way, shape, or form, people start dying. People start being killed. And you say, well, Christianity should be in charge. Yeah, who's Christianity? Greek Orthodoxy? Catholicism? You say, well, they're not Christians. They would tell you they are. And if they become in charge, guess who's going to get punished? Yeah, those over in the Protestant side. If the Baptists get in, you see how that, no, I don't want that. I want the freedom. And it's just crazy that was, they took the time to send out that alert about something that happened in December. But to me, one of the points of in the Satanic Bible, one of the points of Satanism is that Satan has been the best friend of the church because it's kept it in business all of these years. Well, in a sense, they're using it's an email really about prodigals and transgenderism, and then they just throw in this little story about the satanic, statue in the Capitol building, and to me, they're just using it to motivate you to send them money. That's what it feels like. Satan becomes the tool that we use, for your ministry to get money. If you're really that worried about prodigals, and here's what I would say. According to them, there's a satanic plot to destroy children. And one of the only ways we can fight against it is voting, but the only other way we can fight it is prayer, praying for the prodigals. Okay, well, if that's the answer, then why would you charge money for people to be able to get a book to help them do exactly what you say is the answer? If you're really worried about the Satan destroying young people and satanic demons, capturing young people, and that the only way we can fight against it is prayer, you'd be handing those things out like they're candy. You'd be like, contact us right now. We'll send you 10, 15, 20. We'll send you as many as you need because we need to rise up people all around the country praying for the prodigals. Well, no, they tell you this, Satan has come to Illinois. It's a bad thing. Now, here's the way we fight it. It's through prayer, and here's the guide you need to do it, and you can have it for $25, $50, $100, $150, or $200. That calls into question how much of a threat you really believe is facing our children. If I had a prayer guide that I thought was going to be the thing that was going to help protect your children and help, fight the demonic influence of Satanism in America, I hope I would be handing those things out. I would take the guide, put it online for free and create a PDF file and just make it available on the AFA website and let people download it for free and share it with their small group and share it with their church. But what do I know? What do I know? I don't have a multi-million-dollar budget like the American Family Association. Maybe that's why. Maybe I need to start convincing you that Satan is about to destroy America, and I've got the answer, and it's in a little booklet, and I just need you to give me money, and then I'll send you the booklet. There you go. I guess that, I keep forgetting how Christianity works. I gotta get better at managing this. I could be making some serious cash. Yeah, you see, I'm mocking it a little bit, but it's a little disingenuous. It really is. So I probably should have just read the whole email to just show you the way that basically the whole email, it's what it should be called. It's not an action alert. I guess it is an action alert. The action they want you to take is give them money. So I guess that's what I misunderstood. I thought action but now they're going to tell you, the action is to vote and to pray. But the prayer guide that I need to pray is, I only get it if I give them money. It's just the whole thing seems dirty. And it seems to be that they're almost calling into question another religious organization's a right to practice their freedom, which to me is disingenuous. All right, I'm sure this will produce much disagreement, but that's okay. You can email me, newsif@yahoo.com. newsif@yahoo.com. All right, thanks for listening. God bless.